Yo guys, Beast back with some more beastly content. Today we are going to be doing the ultimate video over a crop farm. So this is a maximum planter farm. In the end, that's what we're going to be doing here today, is creating a maximum planter farm. We're going to be covering things like how to get a bunch of fertilizer and things such as like that. Also, all the different types of crop fertilizers that you can use to get all sorts of different things, such as better yields for your crop so you get more items. As you can see here, contaminated berries wise, we have quite a bit. Here's one of the annoying things about using the grow streams to harvest some of these things though. They don't seem to harvest those plants at once when you first log in. I don't know if maybe you just need to spend a couple minutes at your base before trying to harvest so you can get the full harvest or what, but every single time I try and do a large scale harvest of a 250 plant thing, it's always just taking forever. As you can see, it just fills up every time, like 10 at a time. I do believe we ended up getting like a good 300, I'm thinking, if not more, of the contaminated blueberries there. We do have like 150 seeds now of that. Here's the next thing we're going to work on, is actually getting fertilizer, and one of the steps of that is actually going to be making more compost bins. But as I was telling you, the other fertilizers, so first of all, breeding boost. Improved compound fertilizer just uses deviated mushrooms. Now, this one can enhance crop mutation rate and yield, so it means it will have a higher chance of being deviated mushrooms, and then you can continuously keep making more of it because you'll continuously get more mushrooms out of it. Yield mushroom is also made from mushrooms, so you're going to want to go ahead and make yourself some mushrooms. Yield equals more crops received per harvest. So you want to go ahead and get your mushrooms out there. I have like 30 seeds for mushrooms, or 22 seeds or something like that, so I'm going to just plant the ones I have. There are places to farm mushrooms very easily, being the mushroom cave, but also I need a lot of ores like copper and gravel and such, and sinister bricks and things like that. So I recommend learning the recipe of the canned seafood. All it requires is morel mushrooms, the whole like vegetable oil or whatever it is, a fish. Morel mushrooms can be acquired, and I'm going to go ahead and show you a place on the map a little bit later on in the video where you can go farm the seeds. You actually have to farm the seeds of morel mushrooms. That's the only way to get them. They cannot naturally be harvested in the world, just something we know. And you go to places where their seed cabinets are. I'll show you my favorite place for farming for morel seeds here shortly. I haven't done it yet this season. I need to get it done very soon. I think I'm probably going to. But yeah, so we're also going to be making a fishing rod, because that's how you catch fish. You're also going to need bait. I highly suggest just waiting for the event that's like the fishing event. Go there and buy a bunch of bait from the shop, and you're going to be set for life. You can just go fish yourself up some fish real quickly and be good. And as you can see here, Sunshine Farm here is the area I would actually go to farm morel seeds. If you are interested in that, just go through and collect all the chests. There are a couple seed cabinets there. I think one of them might be guaranteed to have a morel seed drop. It may not be guaranteed. You're going to have to farm it every 4 hours. You know, it's based on time zone, not in-game played hours. So yeah, just things to know there. But as you can see here, we're now about to have our 3 compost bins set up. See, once again, we need more sinister bricks. Gravel's like the one thing I have a shortage on, because the Digby boys don't mine for gravel, and that is just absolutely irritating, because gravel is one of the most commonly used materials in the game. All the other materials I ended up having stacks and stacks of, but then gravel, I never have enough gravel. So yeah, so the thing about the compost bin, the main way to maximize the output is to fill all 4 slots with a food. So you're going to find the place to do that. But for now, what we're going to go ahead and do is plant a whole bunch of contaminated berry seeds with the breed boost. We're doing, I do believe, 20 here right now. We have 75, as you can see at this point in the video. We're going to be doing about 20 of these here things, so that means we're going to be getting 60 seeds back from planting these, and all of this started with 1 seed. In the previous video, we only had 1 seed. Well, I think we were at 3 at that point in the video. We had 3 plants down. Those turned to 9, and 9 turned to 20 something. And now we're at this point, and at the end of the video, we should be at about 150 contaminated seeds, and probably counting plus now, probably almost 200. So the next thing we're actually going to work on is power concerns, because we're using a whole lot of power powering our planter setup, and we plan on adding a whole lot more planters. We plan on maxing them out by the end of this video. So advanced biomass generators are just the current upgrade phase. I don't have enough ciphers to unlock the biomass or the deviation generators yet. Those are the highest power source. But we will be working on that very soon. I might just move some ciphers around and unlock 5 more cipher points to go ahead and get that last power upgrade, because I really need it. But yeah, as you can see here, this is what's just going on with the base. I think what we're going to do now is, I think we're still planting here. As you can see, we have a ton of open planters still, and we've planted a ton of the breeding boost fertilizers. And that's the main thing you're going to have to worry about on this, is farming scarlet calamus. Most people grow it. That's why I have so many seeds for it. I plan on doing a very big harvest of scarlet calamus very soon, where I'm just going to grow nothing but scarlet calamus, all yield boosted. And yield boosted is once again the mushrooms. The next thing we're going to show though is the growth boost. Now this can speed up the time of your plants actually growing. So like for mushrooms, we're going to be using this on all mushrooms so that our mushroom return will be very quick. We'll be very quickly able to just get some mushrooms returned just in a few hours, since we don't have time to go farm the mushroom cave or anything like that. Just need the time to just set this up real quickly, plant some crops and get off and go about our day, and then come back home later, which is exactly what I did today using this farm. This farm is very, very nice, guys. Using fertilizers is an absolute must. But as you can see, that this teleport tower here that's used for the apple pie recipe, like the orange pie, you know, that pie, where there's grapes and an apple tree. Apple is what's used for the growth fertilizer, so all you need is the fertilizer in that. Once again, if you have 3 of these compost bins with all 4 slots filled with food, you will be getting so much compost every 3 minutes. You'll be getting 4 times 3, so you will literally be getting 12 compost per 3 minutes. At an hourly rate, if you do fill this up completely with crops, you will be doing good. So go to the tall grass inn and go ahead and head all the way up to the top of the mountain, and behind the sandwich shop here, the SW place, the Subway that's not Subway, guys, head all the way to the back side of it, and there's a ton of crops back there. There's cabbage, potatoes, beets, and pumpkin, and that is 4 different crops, and usually I use spoiled food along with 3 different crops, so might even get to keep the beets, once again, like I always say. But you want to just keep running this over and over. You're going to use the teleport tower to switch worlds over and over and over until you get a whole ton of this. The more farming you do on this, the more fertilizer you are going to be getting back. So either just take the time and farm it one time a whole bunch for an hour straight or something like that, and you'll be good for a long time on fertilizer, or you farm it a little bit, just enough for the current needs, and then have to do it over and over and over and over and drive yourself crazy doing that, like I have been doing. I highly recommend you to, farm at least 10 worlds through before heading back to your territory. As you can see, I was wanting to head back to my territory. 6 minutes left to teleport still, guys. Only 2 minutes into the run, because I was over encumbered, of course. And I tried to put stuff in the trunk, and that also didn't work out because my trunk's also full of logs, apparently. So, yeah. But as you can see here, all you do is head to the teleport tower here. You can hit G, and then you'll be able to world switch. I just opened the map here, wanting to go back to base. We're going to go ahead and get back to base now. That's the next thing. We're just itching to get to the next portion of this base going on here, guys. We are at about the point to where we're going to be doing the lighting phase as well as the irrigation phase. As you can see here, we got all the crops that we did harvest here planted into this here compost bin. All 3 of them are filled full slot. 4 full slots, at least that's what's going to be happening. Once again, we didn't farm the tall grass in very long. We were just showing it as an example. We did do this later on and actually get a good harvest of it. And I actually plan on doing, I think after I finish recording this video, just going on and doing a tall grass in run for a little bit, just to, get myself some actual compost going on. Though I'm thinking I did a good, decent run earlier and placed it all in my compost bin. So we should have some fertilizer going on. I am going to be needing a bunch because I'm wanting to do a whole bunch of yield boost. And yield boost is so easy to farm. Farming that apple tree is so easily. It's just going to the teleporter, changing worlds, cut down the tree, go to the teleport, change worlds, cut down the tree. It doesn't matter if you get encumbered. It's okay to be over encumbered there because it's just such a short walk anyway. But as you can see here, we're placing down the planters in this silo, and this is going to be my lighting and irrigation demo setup here. So this is 2 full wall blocks tall, and that is enough to spread the lighting exactly where you want it to go. It doesn't use one light like I've seen some other designs, but I'm okay with that. I don't really care about that. I just increase my power over and over. I'm going to add some more electric eels very soon. Once we get into fishing, I'm sure we're going to get a ton of electric eels, no problem. But as you can see here, since I made this as like a triangle shape, I went with going right in the center of all the triangles where they meet on the sides, where it's like a flat wall that is the corner of the triangle, because there's 3 corners to it. and then I placed it directly in the center. That should allow for all the lighting to go ahead and hit every single one of the planters. How you actually activate the lighting is actually just, looking up at them. And in this design, you actually can, if you copy this design, you can just look straight up at the lights and change the lighting settings on this one. I set it to 40 because that is what's needed for the contaminated berries, which is what everything's going to be doing very shortly. We're going to be growing a whole bunch of contaminated berries once I'm able to do a full yield harvest of that, and I do need to do some that's going to be breeding boost. I'm going to figure out the math to where I can get all the seeds back I need, and then also all of the yield boost I need to get a whole bunch of the contaminated berries, because you can store them even if they're not going through the barrels. So I'm just going to make more barrels and be brewing a whole bunch more acid soon, but we will see, and I might even have to add a shutoff switch for the irrigation and lighting and everything for my farm very soon, just so that I'm actually able to power a barrel setup as well as, the other things I need to make mixed fuel, stardust source, and everything else, because I got the stardust pneumatic. I can make stardust now with the electric furnace and stardust store and mixed fuel. I can also turn acid into mixed fuel. I have the pneumatic for that. That improves that. As you can see here, you just look straight up and you can change the grow light settings here. Super duper easy. 40 setting right there. As you can see, that's the perfect lighting for the contaminated berries. That's how you do it. As for getting on top of the roof to set up the irrigation, though, it is very simple. I like energy drinks. Also, another thing I wanted to show you is prints make a big difference in this game, guys. I have the metal tin roof, and I think it looks absolutely amazing for a crop farm setup like this. And I am going to show you placing all the prints on stuff. I know that might add a little bit more time to the video that you may or may not have been looking for, but I just wanted to show you how to make one of these that looks really nice. You're not worried too much about space. You're worried about everything getting irrigated, everything getting lighted, because that's what a lot of these auto crop farms do. Is they sacrifice growth time and they sacrifice yield output and things like that simply for the sake of fast and convenience, which is okay, but it also sucks at the same time for when you're doing any sort of setup using fertilizers, because you need to be able to access every single planter, and that's what this setup does. As you can see, though, we just climbed on the roof, jumped down, and boom, we set the irrigation at 100 because we're going to be doing nothing but contaminated berries in this little grow facility here. This isn't one that's very large, so I think in the end I'm just going to make it an all-breeding facility. I do believe, though, we used a growth boost on here for a fast harvest of contaminated berries. I was actually able to harvest most of these within like 6 hours from doing it. Very much faster than the original 12. And actually, I think it was even less because everything I have set up so perfectly on irrigation and everything did a pretty good job. I'm not 100% sure on the irrigation for the top there, though. I did want to use 3 irrigators, but we didn't have the aluminum at the time, so I will be adding 2 more of those. Also, I don't know if we have the power to do that right now, so we are working on power. We are going to get that 6th generator and also be using the TV80 generators very soon, but I am liking how the base has turned out. But stay tuned in the video, because soon we will be building an entire greenhouse of planters. This is going to get us to our 250 cap on production facilities. That means we are going to be building the maximum sized farm that we can, and we may even have to remove planters later so that we are able to place down other function facilities that we will be needing in the future for finishing off the whole idea of my base, because my base is a farm for a lot of different materials, and it's going to be amazing for end game. We are in phase 4, day 1. I'm hoping by the end of this week I am going to be able to show you an amazing base that just creates everything you ever need in the game for the most part. At least the stuff that was hard to get. But as you can see here, it's time to build the base for the greenhouse. We're also just going to fly through how I built the rest of the greenhouse. I'm not going to take too much time on this. I'm just going to show you the simple basic layout of it. We're going to be doing a 3 by 4. So it's a 3 by 4 greenhouse build here. And I think we went longer than 4. So yeah, we went to 5. Okay, so it's a 3 by 5 block green. Oh no, it's 6. So we moved it up to 6. So yeah, 6 by 3 is the greenhouse's official size here. We did have to get a bunch of glass for the windows. We don't show finishing everything here, but we did get this greenhouse 100% finished. We are going to be cutting out some stuff and just kind of skipping ahead because I don't think I need to show building the whole thing. This is the design of it pretty much. It's just the walls. Everything was so simple to do. Also, I ended up taking off these little pitched roof things just because I needed the place to place my irrigators, and that ended up being those ceiling tile things. So yeah, the roof does come off later, and we place place irrigators on it, but besides the little middle pitch there, that is the final design. Also, as you can see, your windows on the side for this side, windows on the side, and then we threw a big door in the middle. Then we threw just a solid block wall on there. And now for the triangle pieces, and this has been the easiest placement of these triangle pieces I've ever had when building a base, honestly. It surprised the crap out of me. And once again, we just real quickly printed this out. I love the concrete brick print. I recently got this one and I love it for the farm builds as well. Looks absolutely great in here. And then we went with the white wall, print for the ceilings. Just something simple. And then we went for this white looking floor here. We're also going to be building an elevated platform for some of the crop planters. I just like the aesthetic of it more. It makes it look more like a nice farm to me. I like to look at it, That's just how it is. I love it. So we will be doing that here shortly. As you can see here, though, here's the main shape and size of the greenhouse. Here's how we did it. So we just placed the half wall there down, and then we placed little bitty platforms here, and we brought it all the way out until we couldn't place anymore. Grabbed another small half wall, placed it down, placed our ceiling on it, run it as far out as we can once again, and we actually kind of pre-placed there, so we didn't have to worry about it for a little bit and could just place ceiling tiles. But as you can see here, the platform is going on easily. We're then going to be planting our planters on here. I'm not going to show all of the planting of the planters, and I don't think I'm going to be showing all of the building of this here platform, but I do just kind of want to give you an idea of how to do it. As for the sides where there are no walls, we actually place like a planter just a little bit underneath that lip there, all the way down as far as we can, as many as we can, as condensed as possible, and then we fill the platform up with planters. Every once in a while you do run into a spot where you just for some reason can't place a ceiling tile just due to an error in the game or something, so I just skip those holes and move on. Like right there, as you can see, that's just the end of the small wall. But even when you have the small wall, sometimes you run into a one where you just can't place a block for some reason. Don't know why it happens, but yeah, here is the easy solution for everything. You just keep placing the platform down. I don't know why I like the platforms. I don't think it actually adds any sort of benefit, and I'm not 100% sure on how the lighting's going to work here, on if maybe the windows are going to let in natural lighting or not. So for now, I'm just going to run a center row of lights. I'm not actually going to run, two. What I think I need to do is run 2 every 2 blocks, but 1 on each side, so that it's hitting every single planter. But as you can see here, there's some of the ones underneath, and then we're going to just fill the top up here with planters. Once again, I don't want to bore you too much, and I know this video already is kind of long, so we went ahead and just finished off the planters, and now we're going to go ahead and get on to the lighting. We're just placing it here. I'm thinking on this one we've built from the sides of the wall small platforms out to actually adjust our lighting, and then we deleted those platforms when we were done adjusting the lighting. That's how we adjusted the lighting for a setup like this. Just a little bit of a tip on that's how you're going to adjust the lighting. But yeah, here's how we did it. Every 2 ceiling panels we would place a light, and it seemed to work out. We have the biomass generators, and it's still not enough power, guys. Maybe one more will be able to get us along a little farther before we have to go to the deviated generators, but I do believe that's very, very soon. And as you can see here, take off the roof and get our irrigators on, because that is what we are having to do here. We can't have the peaked roof if we want the irrigators. I maybe could have built like walls up and then put a top on it, but I just said whatever. We're just going to place irrigators up there. It is fine. As you can see, even more stuff. 240, 163, I think that's what that said on contaminated berry seeds. Very, very good. Here's how the barrels are looking. Not receiving enough power right now. That one's at 48, but as you can see, 100 stacks in the inventory. But I do believe this is about the end of the video. You can go ahead and leave a like on it if you did enjoy it, and keep it beast mode.